Today we'll take you with me to my weekly outlook. It is NFP week, the first of the month fell on a Friday, that's been shifted to next week. And I've not taken a look at the market whatsoever this weekend, so I'm going to take you with me. I'm going to share my ideas, I'm going to share what I'm looking for, what I'm waiting for, and maybe you can get some ideas from this as well. So let's get into the market and let's start with Euro USD. So as we can see, we are on the 1 hour right now, but let's go to the daily first. I find it always very important to start with the overall market outlook to just remind yourself where we are in the market and what we are doing and where we are going to. As you can see right here, weekly wise, we had this massive decline, basically all 21, 22, and this year we started the retracement, right? This was 2023, we started the retracement, and my prediction basically the beginning of the year was that we would come into this level right here, this quite strong support and resistance level right here, and we would reject. I was proven wrong, I would say almost the whole year, and then around summer in July I was proven right, and we had this reaction downwards. So this reaction downwards took out two previous lows. When we did, I said, okay, now it is time for a pullback. It can happen any moment, but of course it doesn't have to be tomorrow, it doesn't have to be today, it can take some weeks. It did, and we did this pullback. So we had this pullback right now, and as we can see, we came into the 61.8 area, and last week was quite bearish. So then we go to the daily. The daily was quite bullish, right? Because it wasn't that pullback, it was quite bullish. But as you can see, we closed last week with a bearish fair value gap. So this is basically a daily bearish fair value gap right here. And when I'm seeing this, what am I thinking? I use fair value gaps quite a lot, and the next video that you will be seeing from the forex course will also be around fair value gaps. But I also use my fair value gaps for my daily bias. And as you can see right now, this fair value gap created a lot of momentum. Basically, a fair value gap is just an imbalance in the market, and it gets created by a lot of volume one way or the other. So right here, we had a lot of volume downwards, and we created this fair value. Now, we can argue that this was to take out this low, maybe even take out these lows right here that we not did yet, but will certainly do. Maybe we can argue that it is because we want to fill this fair value gap, maybe even this one right here. Or we can argue that it is the beginning of the turnaround. Now, I know it is pretty dangerous to try and predict this, but as you guys know me, I'm a big bear. So my feeling is saying that this could be the turnaround point for us to continue lower. We hit the 61.8 on the weekly. The weekly is looking very bearish. This is just a retracement. The daily, of course, is very bullish, but we took out the previous low with displacement and we are leaving a fair value gap. So are we going to trade short right away? No, we aren't. What did we learn from fair value gaps? That fair value gaps often get filled. Now, I want to see this fair value gap get filled halfway, maybe even fully, but I definitely don't want it to be a full body candle close. Because if it is a full body candle close, it would completely invalidate this fair value gap and just tell me that you're most probably still going higher. Then we go to the 4 hour, and then we're going to look for, okay, with that in mind, we want to fill this fair value gap halfway, or at least wick into it, maybe wick over it. What could be a possible point for us to do that? And what could be a possible point for us to look for entries? So then we are taking our FIP once again, and we do it on this price leg right here, right now. As you can see, 61.8 is exactly with this fair value gap right here on the 4 hour. I'll mark this out for you guys so that it will become a bit more clear. So this is a 4 hour fair value gap right here. This, of course, will be my ideal entry. So most probably what I would do is I would wait for price to do something like this. Go into that 4 hour fair value gap. Keep in mind, this would probably happen maybe tomorrow, but it could also happen Tuesday or Wednesday or maybe even Thursday. And then I want to see it go lower. Now, this is scenario number one, and I would say I favor this scenario the most. Also, another thing that could happen is we could go lower first to take out these lows right here, then go higher. Also a very possible scenario. Or of course, we could wait this out, go higher, and then continue lower from there. So it doesn't matter what your bias is. If this is your bias, don't marry it. Always remember the other possibilities, and always remember that your bias could be wrong. But I would say from my experience and from my setup, this is what I favor, and this is what I give the most chance to play out. So what will I be doing for the week ahead? I will be waiting for price to come inside of this area. If it doesn't, then I have to adapt and change my plan. Then let's go to the Dixie. Dixie is the DXY, so it's the dollar index, the US dollar index. And for the people that don't know, the US dollar index is inverse correlated with Euro USD. So it basically means if the DXY goes up, the Euro USD goes down and vice versa. If we go to the daily right here, I want to search for points in the markets that could maybe be beneficial for my bias on EU. So my bias on EU is that we go higher and then go lower from there. So that would mean that we go lower on dollar and then go higher from there. Daily wise, as we can see, we had a very bullish engulfing right here. We did wake that out on the last day of last week, Friday, but we did leave a fair value gap still right here. So then if we go to the 4-hour, could this maybe be a potential place to buy? As you can see on the 4-hour, we did change structure already as we broke the previous highs right here, but still on the daily, of course, was still bearish, and of course on EU we're still bullish on the daily. So this is quite of a difficult turning point right now, where we are a bit predicting the market, but of course we are waiting for confirmations before we take a trade anyways. So right here we want to see price come inside of this area somewhere, maybe even go lower. That is really in line with this order block area right here, previous highs. So what I would favor for dollar to do is for price to come down right here, maybe respect this high, respect this order block, and then go higher from there. So that's my idea for dollar. It also takes out this liquidity on dollar, so I think it could be a very good play for us to look out for. Then let's take a look at GBP USD. GBP USD is mostly correlated with Euro USD as well. So it means if Euro USD goes up, GBP USD also likes to go up and vice versa. This doesn't always happen, as GBP is quite a bit of a stronger pair than Euro in my opinion. So sometimes when dollar moves massively but there is very good GBP news, it can work out differently. So we are expecting for price on EU to come down. So what would I say for GU? That we of course are also expecting that knee-jerk reaction. So that's higher and then lower from there. I would say that we take out this high right here, and this will be the turning point for GU. It could be a very possibility. We take out this high, we take out that high, and then turn around from there. So that is something that I will be waiting on GU. But in my opinion, my favor goes to EU right now, as we have to wait for this play right here. And guys, like I said, don't marry this bias. This is just what I'm favoring. But let's say, for example, if we don't show any strength in these kind of areas, I'm taking longs. Then I'm taking longs to take out these highs. I'm taking longs to target these highs right here, target these highs, target this fair value gap, and maybe even go for this one right here if it keeps on going week after week, of course. So that's why it is very important to wait for that confirmation, because you don't want to be catching that falling knife. You want to really be trading with the trend, and your trend needs to align. So right here, the daily right now is shifting to bearish. We broke the previous low right here, but don't forget this very strongly weekly impulse right here. We really need a very strong confirmation to trade against it. So what I would like to see is for the at least for the 1 hour to get aligned with the daily, and of course the 4 hour will also follow then afterwards. But I can't stress enough that you really need to wait for that confirmation before you enter your trade. Then AUD USD, I have not looked at this pair in a while, but if I would look at it right now, I would say the daily is looking very bullish. We did not take out this low right here. There is no sign of reversal, I would say. We have perfect liquidity above here. So I would say this could be a very potential target. But of course, if the dollar is going to be flying, then I would also expect AUD USD to be falling. Weekly wise, we are in a very strong downtrend. So it could still potentially mean that we are taking out this low right here. We are in a very good reversal area from this price leg. But like I said, the weekly is still very bullish, the daily is very bullish. We did not take out this low right here. So this tells me that bears are not really in control at this moment. But of course, it could still be the case that that's going to be happening if dollar is going to be flying upwards. Then GBP JPY, also a pair that I did not trade for a while. Overall, I would say we are still long for now. Best place to trade it is from somewhere in this region right here, I would say. And then the other pairs I don't usually trade, so I'm not going to be handling them. Even if you're not trading these pairs, maybe you can get something from how I'm looking at the market. As you can see, it is not taking me a long while. I can do this very quickly, as of course with the experience, but also you know what you're looking for because you have your strategy, and this is what I'm looking for. But remember to always wait for that confirmation, no matter what strategy you're trading, because you can't marry your bias. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one, and good luck trading next week. Bye bye, guys.